It's not upcoming. I'm live now. Come on. Oop, there we go. All right. I got it. Good morning, Phyllis. All right. And are we done? Are we done? Come on. I'm getting there. There we go. Okay. There I am. Okay. Good morning. Hi, Mary. All right. So it's our last live of 2024. I mean, our last Friday live because we have one more to go on New Year's Eve. So it's our last Friday live. Hi, Brooke. Good morning, Sharon. You're a new name here. I don't know if you're just commenting for the first time. And Celinda and Gail and Kelly. Good morning. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Beth. Hi, Linda. Okay. All right. I will stop with personalized greetings or we'll be here all day. So, I have, what do I have? I have a lot of things. I always have something to show you and something to say. Well, thanks, Sharon. Thanks for stopping in. This is what we do on Fridays. We hang out for an hour and mostly don't learn anything, talk, ask questions, the whole 9 yards. So this is our Friday Live where we just chit chat. It's not educational. It's just here. It's just here for 4 years now. We are going to be going into our 5th year next year, which is crazy. So we are here, and since it's the last Friday of the year, we're gonna do our yearly recap. It is a party, Nancy. And I wrote down a whole bunch of things that happened, things, the big sellers, patterns. I kind of just go through all of the different things that I did during the year, and we chat about them, and you guys can also share. So, Kathy, I don't have New Year's Eve mystery kits on the website because it's too close for me to be able to ship it. So the kits came down on the 13th. So we do have the mystery coming up, the mystery sew-along in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. 4 days. It will be 2 p.m. Or no, is it Wednesday? Oh my God. Is it Wednesday or Tuesday? What day is New Year's Eve? Hold on. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So in 4 days, we will be doing our mystery New Year's Eve sew-along, 2nd annual, which is super exciting. I did it last year because it was just a crazy idea that popped into my head, and you guys loved it. So now we're doing it again, and I'm excited. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Kathy. So you did say, oh, yes, it is on YouTube. So at 2 p.m. Eastern, next Tuesday, the 31st, the last day of 2024, we will be live right here, same place on YouTube. I will be sewing. It is not Zoom. It is live on YouTube. So you don't have to worry about signing up as far as like getting passwords and all that kind of stuff. There is currently just the people that have purchased the patterns, the cutting instructions. There's 180, I think, or so people. So, yeah, I can't do that many on Zoom. Zoom taps out at like 49. Plus, it would be the most chaotic, overwhelming, nerve-wracking thing to try to do it on Zoom. So basically what we do is I'm live. I will probably be out there because we need more room. Eric will be here with the computer, reading comments, asking questions. I will be showing you, telling you the letters, showing you what we're doing all the sewing. You don't have the pattern yet. You have the access, if you want, for $10 to the sewing and cutting supplies. And then you get all of your prep work done, and then you join us. And if you don't want to do that, or if you just don't have time for prep work, you can hang out. You can come and go whenever you want to. It's totally fine. Somebody had asked about how long. So last year was 4.5 hours, Brooke. So we were here until about 6:30, 6:45. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. If you're working, which a lot of people did work together with me, and I sew the entire bag and you sew the entire bag. Some people stopped, some people had to leave for other obligations. It's totally up to you. Even if you bought the $10 download, you're not obligated to do anything. You can still come and go whenever you want to. So you can come, or you can not come, or you can watch it later. I will be filming today, because I'm a little bit behind, the actual tutorial for the sew-along bag. So you will not have to watch the actual sew-along if you don't want to, or if you want to make another one, because I understand. And I acknowledge the fact that sew-alongs are long and they're not for everybody. We did the Linda over the summer. That one was not a surprise. The pattern was ready for everybody. But I understand it's a long day. It's fun when you're in it, and I totally think that it's a great time when you're actually sewing. But if you're just watching, hanging out and watching me for 4.5 hours, talk to myself and sew, it's not for everybody, and I respect that. So you will have options. I just did the intro for the video this morning. I have to cut my bag out. I think I'm taking a little inspiration from Cheryl Taylor, who made hers in one color, and it's so good. I'm not going to do it exactly the way that she did it because it's gorgeous, but I'm thinking I kind of want to, because then I have kind of a fun one to show you. I have a serious one, we'll call it. I have more of like this is a serious bag, and then I have like a fun bag, and then I kind of want to do one in all one color to say this is how it looks in one color. So this is the kind of bag to me that you can, and I think this applies to almost every bag. Based on your choices, you can make it fun, a conversation piece, or you can make it a very classy, simple, but elegant bag. And I think that goes for every bag, but like when I'm looking at Violet, which I'll show you Violet, not that you guys haven't seen it. When I look at Violet, I don't see that one in all the fun corks as much as I do more of the classy, elegant corks. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. So hopefully it makes sense when I say it. But yes, Cheryl, you're always an inspiration to me. And your bag, I am antsy and just anxious for her to be able to post her bag for you to see it. I don't even care about me getting the pattern up. Like, I want you to see her bag because it looks so good. And then all the testers, they did different, they all did amazing. Shelly was one of the testers. Teresa did one. Mary Ellen did one. And I think Beth. I kept my group small because I didn't want everybody to see it before it was out. Every one of their bags is different, and they are all so good that it's going to inspire you that even if you make it with us on New Year's Eve, you're going to want to make another one. So I already want to make another one. And I say that about all the bags, but like this one, there's one little special touch to this bag, and it's minor. It's a minor little thing, but I love it. It makes the whole bag special to me. I just love it. So Shelly, it does not need to be a Cheryl tag. It's a chili bag. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, so I will tell you a little bit more about the bag next Friday, because next Friday I will do my official show off after the video and the pattern and everything are done. So next Friday will be the 2nd, I want to say, or it will be the 3rd. So on the 3rd, I'll introduce you formally. New Year's Eve bag will be a bit wild. My New Year's Eve bag, I've already picked out. It's my video tutorial bag that I'm back and forth between a couple of things, and I need to decide as soon as we're done with YouTube. I can't make up my mind which one I want to go with, so I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to decide that maybe by the end I will have it ready to go. So Nancy wants to know, can we add stabilizer to the exterior? Nancy, you can do anything that you want, and I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. Bag making is personal. My personal choice, now this is one of my violets right here. If you thought I was going to give you a sneak peek, you're not. You're not getting one. This one right here, I treated the New Year's Eve mystery bag the same way. All of this cork, no interfacing. Inside, waterproof canvas. No interfacing in this entire bag. That's how I like it. That's the structure that I'm looking for. If you want more structure, absolutely. And Cheryl, I'm going to pick your brain for a second. You used cork. I know that. Did you interface or stabilize? Would you want to give us your 2 cents? Because I think that when you see hers, you're also going to want to know. I think that I'm guessing, knowing Cheryl, that there probably is some stabilizer of some kind. Maybe she will share that with us and let us know what she did. And even her lining is like, I think it's a waterproof or water resistant canvas. Decoville light on the exterior. Okay, I can tell by the way that yours photographed, like by the way it was standing up. I was like, I know Cheryl's style. So yes, absolutely. If you want to put some interfacing in there, go for it. Andy, I'm having coffee with you right now. By the way, do you guys drink flavored coffee, or is that just a me thing? I know a lot of people don't like coffee that's flavored. This is French toast. I bought it from a shop in Pennsylvania called Basins, like the name Jason, but with a B. It is so good. Like, it smells so good, but it is so good. And I've also been drinking their uh it's an almond flavor, but it's called, oh, what is it? It's a silly name. Almond the Mood for Love. I have 2 bags upstairs. I just finished the first bag of it because I got it as K-cups and it was so good that I immediately ordered it. Found those when I was on my girls trip with my mom and my sister. Basin's Roasting Company. If you're interested, it's delicious. So, okay. What else do you want to know about the New Year's Eve sew-along? And then we're going to get into our recap. Is there anything else that you want to know? How does Cheryl attach the Decoville to the exterior? I'm going to guess, and I'll let her answer this, that she probably pieced her outside and then added it so that there wasn't a bulky amount in the seam. Because the outside is pieced, spoiler. So if you want to do that, Zena or Cheryl or anybody that's going to be participating, if you want to remind me of that when we get to that part. It is it's a purse. It's not a tote bag. It's not a wallet. It's a purse. It has a handle. It has an outside. It has a lining. So when we piece our outside, if I don't remember and one of you is there on Tuesday and you want to remind me, get your stuff ready to go, and then you can go get your fusing done. And if you get a couple steps behind, remember, it's not the end of the world. We've got all day, and you'll have a tutorial, and it'll be all good. Did you use Decoville Light on cork? Yes, she did. Yep, and you absolutely can. You can interface on the back of cork. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys give me any more questions you want on New Year's Eve, and then we're gonna start our recap. I think I got everybody. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to go on. So we're going to talk about 2024. We're going to do a little recap. I've done this. I think this is my 3rd year in a row. And what I do is I go right to my website and right to YouTube, and I look up all the analytics and all the things, and I, find the bestseller and the best video and like all that kind of stuff. And so I made a whole bunch of notes, but more than that, I also kind of made note of like some of my highlights of the year, some of the things that, that happened. Now, was 2024 my favorite year ever? No. And so if you did not have a good year either, trust me, I understand. There were ups and downs. This year was more of a roller coaster than I had anticipated or asked for. I try not to go into any year being too optimistic where I say things like, this is going to be my year. And I wasn't anticipating that, but I hoped for better. I hoped that you would do a better job 2024. And you were a rough one. You had some moments where I was super happy and some moments where I was not. I have cried a lot of tears this year. I've had a lot of chaos, but that's not what we're going to talk about because we all have years. We all have a lot of stuff. So we're going to talk about all the good stuff and all the highlights of the year because it was a pretty terrific year in many other aspects, right? So I went to the website yesterday and I wanted to kind of get some of the top items per category, overall, etc. So cork is always going to be the #1 seller, and because cork is, I don't have cork as a category, which I should have, it just would take me a long time. But cork overall, because there's like 200 items, I can't really count up how many of those there were, but cork is always going to be the #1 seller. So I'm not talking about cork when I say this. The top item by quantity, so the amount sold in the entire year of 2024, the top item was the Julia crossbody bag. It was our New Year's Eve sew-along from last year. It was the #1 in sales, obviously right underneath cork, but that was the top item, top seller for the entire year. So I'm very proud of Julia. She did an amazing job. And Was it because we did the New Year's Eve sew along? Probably. I'm guessing that definitely helps to add to that. But it was really interesting because in none of my other years have I had a pattern be the number one thing. I've had hardware, I've had different things. It's never been a pattern. So that pattern was the number one for everything, which was very exciting. So you were watching another one of my videos, Sherry. Thank you. So this came as no surprise to me. And if you've been here, you probably already know this. And Andy, I'm going to let you guess. What do you think the top selling cork color was? Top selling color of the entire year. I know that Andy will know because every time she wants it, she can't get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's black. It's black. It's always black. Black is always the top seller. And when there is a year that black is not the top seller, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. And we sell a lot of cork. I have a lot of colors, a lot of prints, a lot of everything. Black, absolutely. And Andy, I know you knew that your coffee was kicking in, but I'm going to let you guys guess on this one, okay? The number 2 selling cork of this year, I will give you one hint and one hint only. It is a print. What do you think was the top selling cork on the website? I'm talking website sales only. Kim, right there. Turtles. That is correct. I was not surprised by this, but it was also kind of exciting because Turtles was just kind of a random print that I did. And Eric is the one that decided to put it on the, what do you call it? The pearl. Oh my gosh. The pearl white. And I think the pearl white is what made the turtles what they are. And the turtles have sold out so many times. I have never had a cork sell out that many times in one calendar year. Black, yes, black is never in stock because we sell out of it so quickly. But I've never had a print. I've had prints be super popular in the beginning and then they fade out because other things happen. Turtles for the entire year have been right up there. So turtles were the number 2 cork. Black and turtles. It should not be a surprise to anybody. So I saw Nancy commented the lips, which reminds me, one other thing that was really cool about this year was that this is the year that Eric got to finally launch his cork collection, the EVL collection. He has been waiting to do that. He has been talking about it for 2 years. It finally happened this year. It happened in June, I think. I think it was the end of June. I think we did it when I came back from Alaska. And what a crazy, exciting thing. It's so fun to bring my husband into it, like to fully bring him in, but also to watch his stuff sell out so quickly and just so crazy. We have restocked a lot of it. Some of it I just keep restocking. The birds, those birds, man. And I am carrying that purse, by the way. The violet with the birds. Those birds, I don't know if I'm ever going to have enough of them. They're so good. And wow, you guys love them. So I'm very excited for him. He got to have his moment. And he's got more planned for 2025. We just had a lot of things going on, unfortunately, this year. And him kind of being immobile for a while definitely did not help. I know his brain is going, but you know, I've been picking up the slack where need be, and I'm tired. So we just haven't gotten to do as much as we had anticipated. But it's okay. You can't beat yourself up over not getting stuff done. You got to do what you need to do. So the top selling template, okay? Top selling template. And this happened very quickly, like recently quickly, was the violet set. And I love it. I mean, I think violet's probably my current favorite pattern. I don't know if that will change or not in the future, but I love this bag. But the template set that gives you the accent and the side and the little tabs, that template set has only been available since November, and it was the top selling template for the entire year. It beat out all the other templates within less than 2 months. So she did a good job. Speaking of templates, you will probably have a new template next week. If you're interested, it is a pattern specific template, but Charlotte, it's hard to see, but this is a full flap for the Charlotte bag. Oh, here we go. Let me try that. There. So it is the Charlotte template. It shows you the seam allowance. It has the marking for the twist lock. It's got your little hang hole. That should be on the website next week. That was a special request, and I think it's a great one. So it is very pattern specific, but if you make a lot of Charlottes, which a lot of you do, I think it'll be a really good one. So look out for that next week. This week, with Christmas being smack dab in the middle, I got off track. I couldn't get anything done. Okay, so I took a look at patterns because I'm always curious about the top selling patterns, because even though I do sell a lot of cork and I make templates and I do all the other stuff, patterns are the start of so many creations. That's where this whole business started from. So I'm always curious to see what patterns worked, what patterns didn't work, like what the big sellers were. And I will say I was a little surprised by one of them in the top 3. So the top pattern, as I already said, was Julia. Julia was the top item, but Julia was obviously the top selling pattern. The second top selling pattern, so number 2 for this year, and it was only by one pattern that it was off. So Julia oversold by one pattern, was the Getaway bag. This bag right here. Now, I did do a tutorial on that bag, but that bag's not brand new. That bag has been around since like year 2 of me designing, I think since 2012 or 13, somewhere around there. The bag's not brand new. So the fact that it was the number 2 pattern for this year and it's not a brand new pattern is very crazy to me. Now, you're probably wondering, why wasn't Violet up there? Violet has been a super big seller, but Violet has just came out. So I think that looking like in like next year, I think Violet's gonna bump up there, but because Violet was brand new, it didn't really have its chance to kind of get in there. The number 3 pattern was a new one for this year, and it was the Taurus tote bag add-on pattern. So it's always funny to me because I'm looking and I said, I gotta look at that again. Am I reading the numbers right? And I am. So Getaway, an older pattern, number 2, number 2 for the year that it did not come out. So, and yes, Shelly, I think, didn't you start with Central Park and then Getaway? Shelly's a long time So Many Creations fan. She's been here for a while. So I think she's made probably every bag I've ever designed. And Getaway, every time I mention it, we talk about how that bag was one of her like early on bags when she met me. Shelly got to meet me in person before she started making my bags, and she's still here. I don't know what to say about that. So overall this year, I released 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a slow year for me. That's, I will admit, slow, I understand is subjective, but to me it's slow compared to other years. Do we count Julia for this year? Because Julia technically was a New Year's Eve sew-along, but Julia also was technically not named or released until the 1st, but the Patreon saw her earlier. I don't know. If we count Julia for 2024, I wrote 5 patterns, but I feel like Julia was kind of 2023. So I'll say I did 4.5 patterns. That is not a lot for me. That is actually a very low number. I usually average at least 6. There have been years that I've done more, but 6 is usually where I'm at. If we count Julia and we count the new pattern that will be out, the New Year's Eve pattern, I'm around 6. But when I look at the ones that just physically came out and were finished, completed on the website this year, it was only 4. And that's okay. That is another thing that I want to say to myself in case I ever watch this again, and also to you. It's totally fine if not every year is your absolute best year and you don't do everything that you wanted to that year. It's not a big deal at all. It's totally fine because you'll always have the next year. I saw a video on TikTok a couple days ago of somebody saying, I'm not excited for Christmas. I'm really not looking forward to it, but it's okay because I'm gonna have more Christmases. And I like that mentality because was this my best year for output, for putting out videos and content and patterns? No, but I'll have another year. It's okay. There's always gonna be another year. Those ideas don't go anywhere. They don't expire. They're not like milk. So the ideas are still here. They're still going to come out, and maybe next year they'll be double, and maybe the year after they'll be half of that, and it's totally okay. So Jess, in 2025 or 26 or whenever you watch this video again, it's okay. Just letting you know. Tomorrow, no one is promised tomorrow, but we can do the best that we can, and it's fine. And Zena, it's a funny thing when you say that, like, that to not want to burn yourself out. I'm not a fan of the burnout mentality and burnout as in wording. And this is not picking on Zena. I love her. This is not, it's one of those things where people say it a lot to be supportive. They say it to creative people, and they're like, slow down, you don't want to burn out. But it's not, for a lot of us, it's not a worry. We're more worried about running out of something, or not getting something done, or disappointing someone. So burnout to me feels more like a physical thing. Like, I have just been running, and I'm physically exhausted. And I understand that mental burnout is a thing. It's just not something I love. It's not a term I love to use. You guys also know, if you've been here at all, I don't do resolutions. I don't do New Year's resolutions, because I think resolution is a word that puts like this, like, I don't know, this stress on things. What am I going to do in the new year? Here's my list of things that I want to do in my goals. I'm a goal person. I'm not a resolution person. So I don't fear burnout. I fear disappointment of myself and you and other people. And I fear that what if that day comes and I run out of ideas? You never want to think about that, but that to me is just, it's a sad thought. I know, but it's just one of those things, So I'm not afraid of burnout. And that being said, this was another conversation that I had with Nicole last year from Sonar. It was very early on in January. We were chatting, and I was beating myself up over not immediately starting a new project in another pattern. And Nicole said to me, didn't you literally just release a pattern like 2 weeks ago? Like, why are you beating yourself up? Like, you just put a pattern out. Why do you care if you do something else right now? Like, you're allowed to take a break. And she's absolutely right. We're all allowed to take a break. My philosophy is, if the idea is there, take it, strike while the iron's hot, go for it. And right now, there is a bag, parts of a bag sitting in front of me that I have an idea for something, and I'll probably start working on it, like fully, wholeheartedly putting energy into it in January. Not because I need to, not because I feel that like you guys are expecting it. You're like, well, come on, it's January, we need a new pattern. I know I'm giving you a new pattern next week, but if the inspiration is there, I want to jump on it. I want to take it immediately. But if the inspiration isn't there and I don't do anything until February or March, it's okay. There's no timeline. I just gotta go with the flow. And I'm learning to be better about that. I'm a very high-strung person. Filled with anxiety, and it's hard for me. I do the best that I can, and I'm trying really hard to cut myself some slack. So maybe you guys can do that for yourselves, and I'll learn from you, because I'm not great at it, but I'm trying. Yes, I love goals. Goals are more achievable than resolution feels harsh. Like, people that go into it, and I'm not knocking anybody. If you're a resolution person, do it. Do your thing that makes you happy. But we all see it. January 1st, I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm going to lose weight, and I have a New Year's resolution to do this. And by the third week of January, when you don't want to do it anymore, you let yourself down. Now, if you said, my goal is to try to go to the gym 3 days a week, and you got there 4, you exceeded your goal. You want to lose 30 pounds and you're 15 into it, you're like, yeah, I did it. It's a goal. Resolutions sound harsh. Just don't like that word. It's, my personality is a lot. So, now, Christy, I'm not going to argue with you, because that's not what I'm here to do. We're allowed to have opinions. But I find your comment interesting, because Christy said, I think bigger bags are coming back to be a top trend this year. I don't know if I agree with you, and I'll tell you why. This is, again, we'll see who's right. It doesn't matter. I'm going to design whatever bags I want. You guys are going to make whatever bags you want. I think for 2025, we're going to see more mini versions and more smaller bags. And the reason I say that, have you been seeing the things that people have been putting out lately? It's been a lot of smaller versions of bags, mini bags, little things. So I don't like to jump on trends. Like, you guys have asked me for a fanny pack for how long and you're not getting it. I don't do that. I'm not a trendy, I make bags that I want to make. Do I think that I might have some smaller bags? Maybe. Do I have anything specific in mind that I'm like, I must jump on the trend? No. But you might get a big bag out of me. You might get a small one. You might get a couple mediums. I just kind of designed whatever appeals to me. So it's very interesting. I see it a little differently than you do, and I'm just taking what I've seen in the past few weeks and some of the requests that I've seen, not only from my customers but in other groups. So that's not a forecast for 2025, but just a very small prediction that I'm kind of seeing. So all right, Shelly says that I can count Julia for 2024, so I'm going to. I think she's on the cusp, so she's going to count as number 5. All of yours want, see, you just don't know. Your customers want bigger bags. My customers want smaller bags. I don't know what I want because I haven't carried a purse in a long time. And now I just keep walking around with Violet feeling excited but also awkward because I haven't carried a real purse in a while. It's just, it's a whole thing. Oh, Carol, you moved. I did move this year, and I didn't even write that on my list. I did move this year. I almost forgot. I nursed a wounded hubby. Those are worth more than 2 new pets. Well, thank you. Okay, so let's see here. What else? What else was a big highlight for this year? Okay, so I'll start with a thumbs down, but then it turned out to be okay. I lost my Facebook page. My So Many Creations page that I have had longer than any other social media, any of it. I lost it this year. I somehow got removed as an admin on my own page, and there are no other admins, so nobody can let me back in. And Facebook is like a ghost. You can't talk to anybody that works there. So I lost my Facebook page, which means I couldn't do anything. I could comment as myself. I couldn't post anything. I couldn't do anything. But on the plus side, on the weird plus side, that was in April. Somewhere in September, somehow, I don't know how, because somebody else had pointed out to me, my Instagram reconnected with Facebook, and I was able to start posting only from Instagram to Facebook. I still cannot comment as So Many Creations. I still cannot edit. The pictures that are on there will be the pictures forever unless somebody lets me back in. I cannot do anything with that page, but somehow I can now post via Instagram. So I have no idea, but I might have lost my Facebook page, which is fine. It's okay. I gained a ton of subscribers on YouTube this year, and I almost hit one of my goals, which is totally fine. Again, I make goals and I set them loose. I'm okay with them being a loose, My goal is always every year on YouTube, 10,000 new subscribers. That sounds like a lot. I totally understand. I've only been on YouTube for 4 years, but I think 10,000 is not totally unachievable, but it's also, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I just kind of loosely set that as my goal. Let's see what we can do. This year, let me see here. I gained 8,060 subscribers this year. The year's not over yet, but I really don't think we're gonna get that many more in the next few days. But that is the closest to that goal that I've ever gotten, and I'm super excited about that. I've said this before, but my YouTube channel is very niche. It appeals to a smaller market than Lauren and Saya and people like that because they make other people's bags. They have a different type of following. I only promote my patterns. I only do my things based around me. So it's a much smaller market because I'm still trying to grow and reach more people, but you're only coming here if you're interested in something that I've done on one of my patterns. You're not coming here to see an Aura Rosa tutorial because I don't do those. So it's very exciting for me to see that I've grown that, and it's been very organic. And the people that are here, you guys and the rest of them, you're not here because I'm doing giveaways and I'm doing whatever. You're here because you want to be here. So that means more to me than anything else. I would rather have what I have than 2 million subscribers that really don't care about me, that really don't know why they're here. So I love the growth and it's exciting. And we hit 30,000 this year. I'm at almost 32,000. That is huge for me, especially considering this was not a huge year for me as far as videos. My tutorial list is very small this year. Now, last year, I was banging them out left and right. This year that I live here, I'm doing less. I don't know what to say about that. So, we started out on January 1st of this year with almost 24,000. It was 23,700. We are now just like less than 200 shy of 32. That's massive to me. I'm super excited about that. So, I'm good with what I got. So Facebook left me. YouTube is working. What are you gonna do? We also started YouTube memberships this year, like a month ago. If it was even a month ago. And thank you again to all of you that joined the YouTube memberships. Just so you know, you and the Patreon group will be getting the New Year's Eve sew along, the actual pattern. You'll get access to that and the tutorial. I'm gonna say probably Sunday, Monday. So it's not gonna be super, super early, but everything happened very quickly and I got kind of overwhelmed the last couple of weeks, but you will be getting access to it earlier. So just throwing it out there, just letting you know. Let's see, what else do we do? So since we're on YouTube, I only did 8 tutorials this year. That's a very low number for me. It's not even one a month, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It is what it is. I'm gonna try and put a goal out there for next year to try and do 1 a month. If I can do 1 a month, that would be great. If I can do 2 a month, even better. But if I have another 8 tutorials in 25 and that's all that I managed to get out, it is what it is. I'm doing the best I can without pushing myself to my max and making myself sick more than anything else. Burnout is not a fear. Being sick is, because I was sick for the first time this year in a long time and missed one of my own retreats. That stinks. So let's see here. Let's see what else. On YouTube, the #1 video still of all time, the #1 video of all time this year, every year, is my recessed zipper and pocket video. It is almost at 350,000 views. And it makes me laugh because I did that video just to answer questions that I couldn't answer via email. If I can't explain it to you in a pattern, I can't write it to you in an email. So I did it to just be like, here's how you put in a zippered pocket and here's how you put in a recessed zipper. And that is what draws more people to my channel than anything else that I do. None of it can compare to that video. 350,000 views. What? Like, that's bonkers to me. It's absolutely bonkers. But, you know, what are you gonna do? The #1 video, just 2024, we eliminate everything else. #1 in 2024 was the tablet sleeve. It's a free download. It's something that I kind of don't think about that much. I did it, I made myself some, and then I just never really went back and did another one. I should make myself some new samples, but I forget that video exists, and then I'll get a comment that says something, and I'm like, oh yeah, the tablet sleeve. It's just, to me, in my mind, I think about Daybreak and Sydney and Poppy and like Boxy Pouches. I think about those free videos. I completely forget that I have a tablet sleeve video. I space it out. Let's see here. Including today, I did 39 lives, which is majority of the Friday lives, a couple of in between, like one from Mormino, one from the Linda Sew Along, but we did 39 lives. And if you want to count Tuesday, because it will be before the end of the year, that is one more. and that will be my 40th. So 40 lives. It's so when I say only 8 tutorials, but I did 40 lives in the year. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty awesome. So let's see here. So it says, I'm trying to read my own notes. The Taurus tote bag add-on also had a lot of views. That was my number one of the tutorials that I uploaded, was the Taurus tote bag add-on. And then the Taurus tote bag by itself was just 300 less than that. So the views on both of those, the beginner friendly tutorials, you guys have told me what you wanted at just by those views. I know what I want to do. 41. I did 4.4 cats worth of lives. Charlie, I don't know where you came from, but I love you. Yes, Teresa, number one, going to all the shows you've gone to is also a big factor in how much work you can do. That is why the live number is less this year, because I can't do lives when we're at shows. And I remember way back in 2020, when we thought everything was going to get back to quote unquote normal real quick, Eric saying to me, yeah, but when you go to a show, you should definitely do a live from there. Like, that would be great. You can keep doing your Friday lives when you're there. We're so busy, and the internet is so touchy when you're at a convention center that it's not easy to do. I've tried. And some people are more successful. Maybe it's because I have Verizon. Other people have other services. I don't know. I just always seem to have an issue. So if I'm at a show, I don't do a live. And there was that chunk in September where you guys didn't see me for like a month because it was show after show after show after show. It just didn't work out. So that definitely, it puts me out there in the three-dimensional world more, which is sometimes frightening, but it also takes me away from here. So I'm glad that you said that, Teresa, because sometimes I forget and I'm like, why did we only do 40 lives? Was I really busy? No, I had a root canal and I was also busy. Yes, Shelly and Trisha and I tried when we were in Dallas a couple years ago, and YouTube was like, nope, don't want to go live from here, don't want it at all. So I just kind of stopped fighting with the internet and I just said, I'm not doing it anymore. So I would love to be live from a show, but it just never seems to work out. It's just, I look at my watch and I'm like, oh, it's 11 o'clock on Friday. I'm like, and there's 20 people in the booth. I guess I couldn't do a live if I wanted to. So let's see here. So speaking of shows, that's a great segue. This was our first year back to quilt shows. It was not good. Like the first one, I enjoyed the rest of them that I did. I realized in order to get back into things, I had to be willing to try stuff. And Eric and I went to one of our old favorite shows, and we didn't have a great time. We really didn't. So it just told me that was not the place for me. I don't think that I fit into that show venue anymore. I don't think that it was all I had hoped for. It was not a financial loss by any means. We had a great vacation in Florida. We took the dogs with us. There was a lot of good to it, but it made me realize that I don't belong here. And so because of that, the good thing about that led me to find other places that I could vend. And that brought me to OSQE, the original, I have to say it every time, original Sewing and Quilting Expo. And I really like their shows a lot. We had a great time. We did Cleveland this year. We did Novi. We did Fredericksburg. I think those are the only 3 for their shows that we did. And we had a fantastic time. We loved those shows. I'm going to be teaching at their shows next year. I'm super excited. I think we have 6 on the books just with their shows. So it's great. One of the other things, and I'll say it and move on. I lost one of my favorite shows this year, unfortunately, because of mishandling of things. The So Magical venue is over. But with that came the More Me Know So Whatever Summit, which I will be at next April. It solidified and made all of us bond even harder in our friendship. So there was a loss, but there was also huge gains because of it. So it's amazing things came out of that stuff that was a negative this year. And that's all that you can ask for, is that you learn from your mistakes and that something positive comes from the negative. It's not always that way. Sometimes a negative is just negative. But I tried to find something good out of the things that didn't work out. So, did we have a great time in Daytona Beach? No, unfortunately, we did not. Will we ever go back again? No, probably not. But it's okay because it means there was other stuff. So, oh, Stephanie, I'm so sorry. I hope that you find peace in 2025, and I hope 2025 is great for you. I hope it's better than you expect it to be. I hope that your expectations are low and the year is amazing. And that's all that I can say for you. Let's see here. Ba, 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 ba. So, other things that I did this year that are pretty crazy. As Carol reminded me, I moved. I forgot about that. I live upstairs. I forgot that I didn't live there in January. I only lived there starting in July. So I'm glad that somebody knows what's going on because I forgot. That was a big personal thing. I went on a cruise for the first time ever and I taught on it. So that was huge. My business brought me to Alaska. That's major. Like, I've always said I wanted my business to bring me to all 50 states. Alaska was so far off that radar. I was like, we'll see. And I get to go to Alaska. And I'm really excited about that. I had a great time with my mom. We got to see Seattle. We went to different places in Alaska. And I got to experience a cruise. I found out that I like them. I don't think my husband would like them. And I'm glad he didn't go, only because I don't think it would have been great for him. My mom's a cruise person. I don't think he is. And that's okay. We had a great time. I also went to New Orleans this year and I made my best attempt at being a normal person, which is really hard. I did not work. I just attended a retreat. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. Not for any other reason than I'm a control freak, and when it comes to a sewing environment, I can't relax. I'm a teacher. That's what I do. It's hard for me to be in an environment where there's teachers and it's not me that's the teacher. So I found out that I'm not good at relaxing, which comes to no shock to anybody in my personal life. I'm too high strung. I went to New Orleans. I got to see it. It was really cool. I made some things. I made a dress I'll never wear because I don't like making clothing, but I got to find out with a safe group of friends that I enjoy that it's not for me. I'm not a sit in the back and be a student kind of person. I just don't have it in me. I'm terrible at it, but it's okay. It's all right. We can't all be good at stuff. I did my first ever collab this year, like big collaboration, not just like pattern idea into a pattern, but major collaboration. I got to be part of a project box with two of my good friends. I got to sell the cork that went with it, design a pattern specially for it. It was amazing. So Lauren, of course, she's not here today while I'm talking about her. But Lauren asked myself and Nicole and also Melissa from Wizardry to all be part of this, and it came together and it was amazing. We're all still friends. It worked out great. It was super fun. I got to teach as part of a group setting. It was amazing. That was probably one of my top highlights of the year. In doing that, I also got to take a French macaron class. This is a personal thing. It's not a business thing, but when Jess personally is in a good mood, Jess business-wise is in a good mood, and I know how to make French macarons. They're delicious, and I beat them. I did it. I succeeded. I can now make them pretty well. Like, I would say I'm in like 90% of being where I want to be, which since September, not such a bad thing. So that was exciting. That I was totally fine being a student because I don't teach baking. So I was excited to learn everything because I love to bake. And I was like, tell me everything. I was the little brown noser teacher's pet. I was like, ooh, let's chat. I had a great time. And I made a new friend named Dave. We don't actually talk. We were only friends that night, but that's okay. Making new friends whenever I can. So let's see here. Oh, we started Zoom classes. That has been super fun. And I saw a couple questions. I will go back and answer your questions. Speaking of Zoom classes, I did put up the Lola XL class for January 19th. It's a Sunday. So we're going to do one more Lola XL class because you guys asked for it. So that is on the website right now. You can purchase the class with or without the pattern. If you, and I mean the original pattern. Both of them will come with the Lola XL add-on, but you will have the opportunity to buy the original Lola if you don't have it or not. So as all the Zoom classes, you purchase the kit, you get the Zoom class for free. So that is on there. We still have room in both of the January Violet classes, and I will be getting February listing up hopefully in the next week or so. I just have to work out a few little details. What else did we do? Okay. I wrote notes and I don't know what they mean. Oh, my favorite make of the whole year. It was definitely Violet. Favorite pattern. This pattern made me feel super confident, super smart. It was many years in the waiting. I'm glad that I got it done. I'm like, it feels like a huge weight. I love this bag. I love this bag. I'm carrying the one with the birds. My mom got for Christmas the one with the houndstooth. I can't even pick a favorite, but my favorite make of the whole year was probably every Violet bag that I made. They're all tied for first. I am super excited, obsessed, everything with that pattern. So that was definitely a huge highlight for me. That pattern has been 3 years in the making because it just was. Let's see here. I talked about that. Did I say that? I don't know if I said that. It was our first year back with Court Club. That was 2 years that we did not have it, I think. And so it was our first year back. And it was the first time we did Court Club extras. And those seem to go very well. You guys seem to really like having the opportunity to buy just a single month, even though sometimes they sell out. Sometimes they sell out really quickly. But the Court Club extras was super fun. And it was just it was actually kind of an Eric idea because he had cut extras and then he was like, well, sell them. He's like, sell them as extras. And I was like, do you think? And it worked really well. So thank you very much, Terry. I have to just laugh about this. So I'm not being negative. This is just really funny to me. You guys might not know that I actually write quilt patterns because I don't ever talk about them and I don't promote them. They're on the website, but that's where it stops. You never hear me talk about quilt patterns. So I do sell quilt patterns here and there, mostly through distributors more than anything else. I don't really sell a lot of them like in person. I don't take them to shows, but it's really fun because I do have them and I just kind of forget about them. So when I was looking at the top sellers yesterday, I kind of hit the reverse button to look at like what was the least seller. Coming in with a quantity of one sold, one was the knots pattern that I have. It's a jelly roll pattern. And it said next to it that it was down 50% from last year when I sold 2. And I just couldn't stop laughing because my website, I feel like my website was being sarcastic with me because it was like, you sold double the amount last year. And I was like, yeah, that too. I did sell 2. I made $20 off that pattern in 2023 and I only made 10 this year. So I had to laugh about it because a lot of the numbers were 0 because they were like expired items. And when I got to the first one that said 1, it was one of my quilting patterns. So, yeah, I sold 1 single copy of that particular pattern. And it's just really funny to me. So they can't all be winners. Maybe someday I'll care about quilting again. I don't really at the moment because I'm just so bag obsessed and into cork. I don't know. Maybe I'll care about it. I don't know. Probably not next year. Maybe in a couple years. Give me some time. All right. So the last thing, and then I'm going to read all of your questions. I did 2 things this year, not intentionally, just random things. This is going to mean nothing to majority of you, but to me, it was major. And maybe you'll make me feel better and share your weird thing. We all have our weird, quirky things and things that we don't like to do publicly, things that we don't like people to see us doing or wearing or whatever that may be. And I think because this year was such a tumultuous, crazy year, I kind of just got to the point where I said, screw it, I don't care. One thing that you will never see when I am in public is you will never see me wearing shorts. I don't wear shorts. I know how random this is. It has nothing to do with business. But I don't particularly care for my legs. They're very, very white. I don't like them. They have nothing appealing about them. I don't wear shorts. Even when it's 90 some degrees outside, I wear pants and I stay inside in the air conditioning. I wore shorts in public for the first time since I was a teenager. It felt super weird, but it also kind of felt like liberating because I was like, I don't care. I really don't care. It is hot. I am unloading my car. I don't really care who's looking at my legs or not looking at them. I don't care at all. And it kind of felt weirdly empowering. I didn't do it again. It was a one-time only thing, but I didn't stress myself out over it. I was like, who cares? They're my legs. What are you going to do about them? I can't change them out. The other thing you will never ever catch me doing is singing. I love singing. I sing all the time. I rarely ever even sing in front of my own husband. Sometimes I do, but not a lot. Sometimes I do it and I do it to be like annoying. It's not like my actual singing voice. For me to use my legit, this is what I sound like, I don't sing in front of people. It's embarrassing to me. It's just weird. And when we were on the cruise, I said, I don't care. There's some good music playing right now. And I sang in front of so many strangers, not on a stage, but I just was singing. I was singing during a what do you call it? There was like a little contest, and I was singing, and there were women sitting in front of us, and they turned around, and I was like, oh my God, they're gonna tell me to shut up. And they're like, you should get on the stage and sing. And I was like, oh no. I was like, no, that doesn't happen. I don't do that. I was like, I'm just entertaining myself right now. So those were just two weird little things that I did, but it just kind of, I don't know, it made me kind of go, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. It's okay to be weird. Let your freak flag fly. Who cares? And again, I'm working on my patience. I'm working on my patience with myself. And that is my yearly recap. That is 2024. So I see questions and comments. So let me read them and annoyingly sip my coffee, and I will answer all of them. Kim is still looking for the perfect pattern to turn into a camera bag. I cannot help you with that, but I know So Sweetness has something if you haven't already checked it out, because I don't know anything about camera bags, unfortunately. I know as little about camera bags as I do diaper bags, so those are things that are hard for me. So that's funny that you say this, Nancy. Some of the fashion shows have people carrying two bags, a small micro one and a tote. So I am currently carrying my Violet, which is not a tote, but it's a regular size bag. And my Linda is still inside of it because I was like, Linda's basically a fancy wallet. I'm not changing to a wallet. So my Linda, I took the strap off of it because it removes. I stuck it inside of there and it just sits. It's annoying though, because I'm used to wearing it and lifting the flap, taking things out. The credit cards are under the flap and then it's inside of the bag. So it kind of becomes irritating when I need to get into everything, but it's okay. I just didn't feel like changing it out. So I guess I'm currently carrying that look just in my own way and they don't match at all. And I don't care at all. So, oh, Andy, the 4 patterns in 24, the Taurus tote bag add-on, the Linda sling, the Lola XL, and the Violet barrel bag. 5, if you count Julia, which was from the New Year's Eve sew-along last year and released on the 1st, and 6, if you count this year's, which doesn't have a name to you guys yet. I haven't even told you the name, and I'm not going to. So let's see here. Let's not read your notebook. Let's read the comments here, and then you'll know what people are asking you. Let's see here. Sherry, by all means. Sherry said, we need to get the word out to cork lovers that we know. Please, by all means, if you are in groups and people ask where you get your cork from, don't be shy. And if you name my website, don't forget the NY. People do it a lot, and then it says that there's a broken link, and then it looks like I'm not a legit company. So if you want to, or you can tag the group or whatever you want to do. But I always love that and appreciate that. And that is support, just like all the rest of the support. So I will take all the support from you that I can. Yeah, see, a lot of people found me through the recess zippered video, which is just, I laugh about it because I didn't have any intentions with that. Sometimes we go into things, whether it's business or whatever it is, and we're like, I'm going to do this because this is going to happen. I had zero intentions. I just one day was like, I can't answer any more of these questions. I'm just going to make a video. I don't really know what I'm doing on YouTube yet. Let me get my bearings. I had uploaded, I think, literally just lives. And I was like, let me just see how this works. Let me see if I can edit it. And I did. And that's kind of where it all started. That was basically the start of my channel. More than anything else was that, and seeing that people liked it and they liked just having a tutorial that had nothing. It was not bag related, like specific. It was just random information. So let's see here. What is the last day to order a Violet kit for the January classes? You almost have your shit together. Andy, I feel like 2025 is going to be your year for getting your shit together. The first class is the 11th. So, I mean, I would say this week, like, no, next week, because next week is the first week of January. So I would say if you got it done by the 3rd at the latest, I think you would still be good to get it on time for the 11th. I'm not talking about the later class. I'm just going by the earlier one. I would say give it at least a week. The holidays are over, but you still can never fully rely on the post office. Those kits do ship priority mail, so they get there a little bit quicker. But you also have to remember, you need time to get your stuff cut out. So I would say no later than next Friday, but sooner is better because then you'll have more time. Let's see here. I will see you in April as well, Roberta. I was like, what am I doing in April? Never mind. I'm good. I hope, Heather, that someday you can come to a show and maybe we don't have to have our run-in and our awkward conversation in a field and stream like we did the first time. Heather and I met very randomly, unplanned, by running into each other in a field and stream while my mother and I were just randomly wandering around, and there was Heather finishing her vacation with her family, and we just happened to be in the same town. She wasn't there when I was teaching, she was leaving, and it was one of the most just awkward, because we were both like, duh. I mean, you know, when you catch me off guard, I am super awkward and weird. And I apologized to Heather and she was like, same, it's fine. So maybe one of these days we'll see each other in an environment that makes sense, and we won't just be standing next to fishing equipment. I'll never forget it though. It was in Branson, Missouri. So let's see here. Ooh, Violet is on your list for next year. Very exciting. The Lola XL is a Zoom class. I am only doing Zoom classes. When I do things here, they're not pattern specific classes. And I don't have anything scheduled for in-person here because it's winter and winter is unpredictable. I think we're getting an ice storm tomorrow. So January, February in upstate New York is like a no. Probably starting around April, I'll probably have some in-person classes here, but there is no sense because all we're doing is figuring out when we're going to reschedule because, you know, it might snow, which is a big bummer. So, oh, and thank you, Cheryl. All of my in-house classes, my open house. So I didn't do a lot of in-person classes here this year. I did a handful, but we did have 2 open houses. I did forget about that because our last one was very last minute, unfortunately, because of my schedule. I'm hoping that next year we will be in October again for the open house, but we'll probably have one in April or May for the spring because the spring was super fun too. Do we need to have both? I don't know. But I'm here, so like it doesn't really matter. I can have 5 of them if I want to. I won't. Let's see here. I'm glad to know that you guys also don't do shorts. Oh, Zena, you don't wear shorts when you're in Florida. Now I feel better. I don't like shorts. I feel like shorts are just an equivalent to a billboard that just points at everything I don't like. It's like, hey, let me chop this into parts and you can just point right at it. Like, here's my big white chunky thigh. I don't need anyone to look at that. I don't want to look at that. And that's a me thing. I don't care if anybody likes or dislikes my legs. I don't want to look at them. It's just the way that it is. We all have our things. That is mine. If you have nice legs, I'm envious of you. A little angry, I'll be honest. So, oh no, Michelle, that is I wore shorts to work this past summer and someone asked me if I was wearing white tights. And that is why I don't wear shorts in public, because I would get the same question because I am basically see-through. Okay, a little late. That's okay, Terry. New Year's Eve pattern. What other than cork can I use for the accent? So, oh my, I almost just grabbed it and showed it to you. That's bad. I would say, I don't have, do I have the pieces? Hold on, hold on. If you want, if you get your download, okay, if you look at all of the pieces, A through K, there's a little designation next to each of them that tells you cork or interface cotton. So for like the accent, I would say, yeah, it says E. You could use interface cotton. For F and G and H, you definitely want to use cork or lightweight vinyl or something that can be used raw edge. But you can definitely do this pattern mix and match. I would just be kind of careful. Anything that's going to be raw edge. So anytime that there is a handle or a zipper overlay, or like on a violet kind of a bag where there's an accent like this, which that is not for the new pattern, anything raw edge, you can make the changes. You can make it out of cotton. You just have to actually make those changes. So Terry, you can for sure mix it up. Look at that chart that's on your download and it will tell you what information. And if anything doesn't make sense, send me an email and I can tell you, you can show me your pieces. I can tell you what will work and what won't work. I'm more than happy to do that for you. So, and Shelly, I wish that I had your confidence. I don't care what other people think in many aspects. I don't care what people think. It's the shorts thing is a me thing. I'm uncomfortable. I just don't like the feel of them any more than I would wearing a short skirt. Like for me, it's just not my favorite thing. It just doesn't make me feel super good, and that's all. If you look at me and you think like, well, I don't think that that's attractive, I don't care. Like, I'm not here to care if other people think that I'm attractive. I don't care if people like my outfits. I have to be comfortable, and shorts make me uncomfortable physically and also mentally. I just don't like wearing shorts. I barely even wear them at home. It's just, you wake up in the morning and your shorts are up your butt. Like, it's just uncomfortable. Nobody wants that. Let's see here. I do wear crop pants. Those are fun. I also have really short legs, believe it or not, and so shorts just accentuate how short my legs are, and they just make me look really disproportionate. It's just not a thing. So, sorry to anyone that's like, please stop with the shorts conversation. Emily, you're finally here live. Thank you. And Emily, I haven't seen you in so long. I hope that you're doing very well. Every time I see your name, I smile, so I'm glad that you're here. Let's see here. Will leather work for the accents? Brooke, that is totally fine. It just depends on your machine. Just remember, I use cork because I know what my machine likes. If you have a machine that's happy with leather and leather's your thing, by all means. If you're sewing leather on a domestic machine, probably not going to work. If you have an industrial, the sky's the limit for you. So absolutely. When I say cork, if I'm referring to something that should be out of cork, mostly it's because it's raw edge. For me, it's going to be cork because I sell it, but also because that's what my machine likes. So cork can also mean vinyl or leather to you if that's your preference and your machine's good. Yeah, you have an industrial. You can sew literally anything. You could sew a rocket ship and you'll be totally fine. So let's see. You got a new HD9, very exciting. All right, so I think I got all the questions. Did I get everything? Hold on. All right, I'm just looking one more time. I think I got everything that needed to be answered. Oh, I got some very thin cork for Christmas, paper thin. How would you interface it? Probably Decoville Light would be my preference. It doesn't shrink the way that Decor Bond does, and a lot of times with really lightweight paper thin cork, putting heat on it can cause it to shrink. So I would very carefully fuse from the backside. Maybe try like a little piece. If you have like a little scrap you can cut, you can definitely interface it, but I would just be very cautious when you go to put the heat on it. Just be careful. I've seen that really thin cork kind of shrivel up. So just be extra cautious with that. So, all right. I think I got everything. Mm, that French toast coffee is good. Okay, so I am going to say goodbye. This is our last Friday live until 2025. So I will see you guys here on the 3rd. But in the meantime, I will see you on Tuesday if you are participating or stopping in to say hi or whatever the case may be. Tuesday, starting at 2 p.m. New York time, Eastern time, we will be doing our mystery sew along. Get your stuff prepared if you want to sew with us. I'm going to do the same thing. If you're wondering, if because you didn't do it last year, like what the pace is like, basically I'm going to say, here, this is what we're doing. We're sewing this to this. Put these this way. I'm going to show you what we're doing. And then I'm going to sew it so you have a moment to sew. I kind of get a few thumbs up from people and then we move on to the next step. If you get behind, it's okay. If you miss anything, you can always go back. And on Wednesday, the 1st, you will have the tutorial that you can watch so you don't have to watch the sew along again. Yes, the mystery sew along is right here on the channel live. I will go ahead and put up a listing today that or the little notification that says where you're gonna go for that YouTube. So you can just kind of click on there and you can get notified when it starts. The other thing too, you guys asked me last week and I got distracted because of Christmas for a cutting video for the sew along. I'm not going to do a full cutting video, but I do have to get my pieces cut out. Would you like me to upload kind of like a quick little, this is how I used my cork and this is how I cut my pieces, like a really short video? Would you guys like that, or are you all cut out and ready to go? If you don't need it, that's fine. I'll try to do it. It shouldn't take me, the video shouldn't be more than like 5 or 6 minutes. It'll be, here's my main one, here's my accent, and then I'll kind of do that. Okay, cool. I got a few yeses and that's all that I need. All right, add it to your calendar. I will add it here. So you can go to the live tab and it will say upcoming and it'll say the date and the time. And other than that, I guess I will see a lot of you on Tuesday. If I don't see you on Tuesday, I will see you here next Friday in the new year. Have an awesome weekend. I have no idea what day it is because Christmas got me all messed up. So it is Friday. Have a great day. I will see you guys in a few days. Bye.